Message for U.S. expats in Mexico. Here's what's happening. Trouble is brewing, and you should be aware that this issue has the potential to blow up.
Following the kidnapping and killing of Americans in Mexico, lawmakers are getting serious about the impacts cartels are having on both sides of the border.
Yes, Lauren Blanchard is in Washington now with more.
These cartels have declared war on us. We need to go on offense and use every asset that we have to start dismantling and taking them down.
There are renewed calls to designate cartels foreign terrorist organizations after 4 Americans were taken hostage just across the border. 2 were killed.
The channel hopes for the best possible outcome. However, as heated discussions continue in Washington, D.C., things could go south and fast. Here's what's happening.
If approved by lawmakers, the bill would criminalize helping cartels, give law enforcement more power, and allow the Treasury to freeze assets.
I also want to add something beyond the criminal model. I want to put military force on the table, because if this is not an attack on America, what would be?
In a Senate hearing on worldwide threats, the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, was grilled about how to crack down on cartels and the drugs like fentanyl that are flowing into the United States.
The threat from illicit drugs is at historic levels, with the robust supply of synthetic opioids from Mexican TCOs continuing to play a major role in driving American overdose deaths to over 100,000 annually.
Mexico has been one of America's closest allies under both Democratic and Republican administrations in previous years. However, recently, Republican officials and voters have expressed not only criticisms of Mexico, but also outright hostility. Republican presidential candidates have encouraged the bombing of Mexico or sending troops to Mexico to stop the illegal drug trade. Either of these actions would be an act of war. Trump led the way. He asked defense officials about striking Mexico with missiles while he was president. Now, both Trump and Ron DeSantis have called for military action to stop drug traffickers. DeSantis wants a naval blockade of Mexican ports to stop drug trafficking. Other candidates in the 2024 presidential election have also backed using military actions against drug cartels in Mexico. You may not have heard about this line of thought, because the Republican campaign coverage is mostly on local news feeds. But as the campaign moves forward, you will hear more about using military actions against the cartels in Mexico. There is a push to label the cartels as a terrorist group. You should be aware that all this talk could have an effect on our stay in Mexico. Individuals in Mexico may be upset by the campaign talk once the news media reports reach the international feeds. Be aware and safeguard your movements.